Now, with over 650 million mobile phone lines, Africa's telecom growth is one of the most popular success stories of investment in the continent. And I caught up with Manoj Kohli, he's the managing director at Bharti Airtel, and to hear more about the Indian telecoms company's experience in Africa. Let's take a look.
Well, Africa has been a very prudent and very long-term investment for Bharti Airtel. We chose Africa out of many other options we had, and we believe that it's a good choice. We have done 3 years now, and we have invested about $13 billion in Africa, and we have a long-term commitment to Africa.
Right. At this stage, everyone says Africa is talking, so the penetration in terms of the voice market is really slow at this stage. What next when you look at the African continent? Everyone seems to have a mobile device these days, so what's the next big opportunity in terms of strategy for mobile operators like yourself?
The voice growth is happening, but it could happen much more if the small towns and villages get much more GDP growth. Right. That's one issue which politicians and governments and of course industry have to handle, that the trickling down of GDP has to happen from urban to suburban and suburban to small towns, villages, etc., which happened all over Asia and especially India. I've seen it. It takes about 10 years to happen, and that I think is happening too slowly in Africa, which is not a good news, because if that happens faster, voice will grow faster. The second issue is on internet. Luckily, that's growing very well, and in some of our markets, it's growing by 10% a month, which is great news. The African customer actually is leaping. He's taken a leap from no phone to GSM phone, and then second leap is no laptop to a 3G handset, smartphone. No laptop to a smartphone. The third big change is happening on the m-commerce, and the model which Kenya has shown to us. I think all operators are adopting that model of mobile phone being a mobile ATM, compared to going to a bank branch or a bank ATM. So you use mobile phone as ATM and transact your banking transactions, maybe transfer some money to your family or to your friends at a very, very low cost, at very high speed and with full security.
Do you anticipate this happening across Africa?
I think so. I think in the next, you will see 2 to 3 years, this will happen across Africa. And finally, we are building a tower company, infrastructure company in all 17 markets, which has already been set up. Sharing has started very well. Our energy initiatives in solar and windmill, etc., have started very well. So these are the 3-4 major opportunities we are driving.
And of course, the big challenge in Africa is infrastructure, particularly in a market like Nigeria, where telcos continue to complain about the high cost of maintaining their sites, etc. In terms of the model for companies like yourself, how do you adapt to that challenge that Africa presents? Some are suggesting that more outsourcing of some of the site facilities may be the way forward.
No, that's a big challenge, and we are actually, as a company, shocked by the cost structure of some countries like Nigeria, and even in some countries of Franco. Therefore, we're moving very steadily to solar. Solar sites are giving us very healthy savings. We're moving to windmill in Madagascar, for example, that's giving us savings. We're moving to hybrid systems. So energy is actually a huge issue in Africa. Even in cities, there is a paucity of energy. And therefore, even in cities, we have to put 1 diesel generator per site or even 2 diesel generators per site, which is quite a major investment we have to make, and quite unnecessary. If the energy is there, we don't have to do it. So this is a challenge I think we are trying to overcome in every country. But definitely I'm seeing positive trends of our energy cost coming down.
Right. What about insecurity? We've seen that manifestation in places like Nigeria, in the north of Nigeria. Kenya, of course, has some history there, Francophone. West Africa, of course, has some as well. Is this a big challenge for you going forward? Do you anticipate that things are going to get better in this respect?
It's a challenge, but it's normal. I don't think, we are part of society of every country. We cannot say that, okay, we want to be in a country which has no violence, which has no law and order problem. India, for example, Punjab had violence, Kashmir had violence, Assam had violence, but we did very well. Actually, in Punjab, Kashmir and Assam, we are market leaders. We did very well. So similarly, Nigeria has some violence, or Congo has some violence, etc. So that's part of our life, and I think we are part of society. We can't say that we'll only be part of peaceful society and not part of non-peaceful society. But you're right, I think we need to take care. We need to be careful about our assets. We need to be careful about our people so that we don't have a loss of life or loss of our assets. And we take very high care. So I'm happy to say that our managers, our leaders are extremely well adapted to managing in a situation where law and order has a problem like North Nigeria, like Goma or East DRC, where there's a problem. We are managing it very